What is a director's job? It's telling a story through visuals, more specifically, shots. Assembling the players, finding and building the locale, organizing the scene before the camera and stitching shot to shot. And through it all, visually creating a world to narrate the story. How well have the 5 Oscar-nominated directors endeavored in this task? That's what we're here to find out. I'll go through each film that got nominated for the Oscar of Best Achievement in Directing, analyzing the directing style to assess their strengths and weaknesses. Like it or not, I do. This is a competition, and these feats are not of equal worth. I'll start with the most proficient achievement of the bunch, the type of workmanlike efficiency that should be taught as the standard of what film directing should be. It's the one that surprised the most people on nomination morning, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Then I'll go through Sean Baker's Oscar win for Anora. Was it worthy? Followed by the disappointing entry that is Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. Then the weakest link, everyone's favorite Jacques Audiard for Emilia, Pérez. And to conclude, the most unusual and insane, and dare I say the best, of them all, Coralie Fargeat for The Substance. As we merrily roll along, always keep in mind, the direction is not the film, and the direction is not the screenplay. Enough intro, begin. A Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold. The Uneducated denounced this nomination due to the film's lack of style. O ye of little faith. That predictable complaint is comprehensible. It's invisible style. James Mangold is an extremely reliable journeyman. Nobody should care whether he's an auteur. But don't get me started on that subject, not again! A Complete Unknown gives a lesson in precise scope composition. Shots are consistently framed with flawless care for the image. Every portion of the frame, every layer of space is dealt with care. If you find some empty space, just wait a bit. The screen is packed with information from left to right, from front to back. The scope frame is wide, and that's how it's treated.
We could have a chat, so I brought you a cup of hot black and one with milk for Sylvie.
Hey. What the fuck?
Albert's body language spreads across the screen here, as does Joan with her mirror. The movie's world is built for width. And depth, never forget depth. When Bob plays for Woody, he sets himself foreground right, Pete middle ground left. Fritz Lang said that scope is only ideal for snakes and funerals. But here James Mangold shows how it's also perfect for guitars. Their horizontal shape fits the shape. He always finds the shapes that fit his chosen shape. And frames are so well composed because they carry a visual sense of beginning, middle and end. Here we begin with the extra, move towards our subject and end on the curtains. A neat trick of composition is vertical shapes on the sides. Vertical shapes on the margins work like margins. In Pete's trial, notice how each actor is well spread out in this shot from left to right, not to mention the set's full color and lighting. We'll get to that later. The reverse angle is equally organized. Extras and decor enclosing the left, our subject to the right, and the stenographer's hands connecting the shot to the other angle. This visual richness gives A Complete Unknown another strength above its fellow nominees, the sense of spatial continuity. Shots show so much information that every time we cut to another informative angle, we understand the geographic relation between the two shots with ease. We can map out the place, keep off-screen characters in mind, and even assess distances. Cherish these shots in the Chelsea Hotel. Bob playing on the right, the mirror on the left giving a second angle to his face. Moody lighting. Joan turns on her light and the new angle shows her location in the distance, framed by Bobby and the lamp. She brings the camera to the left, both entering the bathroom and revealing the exit he'll soon take. The counter shot returns that mirror to keep Joan in the frame. The unused left of the frame is now darkened. Thanks to careful framing and correct cuts, now you understand this small room perfectly. But how about something more complicated?
Get out.
The scenes at the Newport Festival feature numerous characters in different locations, but the visuals flow so fluidly you follow actions without ever noticing how geographically complex the staging is. Here's the first one. A camera move goes from the audience to Joan and reveals Bob's position. Depth shows Johnny Cash and his distance to Bob. Cut to Sylvie somewhere unspecific, but in the audience. A cut on movement reveals exactly where she is. And so it goes. 7 minutes featuring the relationships and spatial relations between 5 characters, presented like it's no biggie.
How about we get us a drink after the show?
If continuity inside the scene is impressive, what about between scenes? Match cuts can connect scenes seamlessly, like from this pose to the same pose with another character. Or we fly from Joan playing to frame the recorder on the left. Cut to a radio on the left, playing her music of course. Pull back to start a new scene. Just like the compositions, the film's camera movements are exemplary. They do add dramatic effect, but they also have purpose. Like the frames, which have a beginning, a middle and an end, so do the camera movements, moving from perfect composition to perfect composition. In what just might be my favorite shot of the movie, we see Bob and his band in the back, top half. The tape recorder in the front, bottom half. A rich composition in itself, but we pan to another perfectly composed frame of the crew, each man on his visible spot, spread out and deep. We pan between these perfect frames 4 more times. The scene ends like this: subject left front, musician right back. And here's the first frame of the next scene. Subject left front, musician right back. I also love this shot from Pete's show, the wide studio, filming him while we watch his image on the side. No doubt influenced by a similar shot from George Cukor's A Star is Born, known as one of the first great uses of the widescreen.
Thank you.
Oh, I nearly forgot, this guy. Did you notice that he is twice leaning forward, but the third time he's inclined back? Why? To make room for Albert to join the frame. There's room for everyone, you just have to arrange your players perfectly. This is very much a modern movie, but the direction carries many strengths of the classics. A care for space and spatial relations, serious treatment of the entire movie screen, hiding technique behind the story as much as possible, hiding cuts on movement and on sound, never reminding the audience that there is such a thing as a camera, invisible direction of the best kind. If there are people who think A Complete Unknown has no style, it's because James Mangold did his job too well. Anora, directed by Sean Baker. Our actual Oscar winner has a different approach to visual style. He doesn't care that much. Anora does a back and forth between shots with care for space and composition and documentary-like handheld moments. And Baker builds contrast between the two quite well. Many shots in the strip club are uncoordinated, poorly lighted, uncomposed. Hey, I'm just describing it. Here we're in an angle where extras cover Annie and we must wait for them to move away. Oftentimes the camera is clearly not sure of what to shoot, so it makes abrupt decisions. In this shot, Annie stands up and the camera isn't sure if it should follow her or wait, resulting in compositions that are, shall we say, spontaneous. In the swimming pool, the camera realizes Vanya is arriving and quickly tilts to find him. Then this woman leaves and there's a chain of focus problems. It's spontaneous. Personally, I do love how casually the chaotic camera finds a ticket on Taurus's car.
God, because we're done here and I want my ring now, motherfucker.
The camera not knowing what to shoot fits well with chaotic moments.
I just need
no,
this
and you know what? If you touch me again, I will fucking scream.
Not really with calmer moments. When Taurus gets a message in church and we tilt to find his pocket, it's funny, because it's disrupting the ceremony and the shot. When Annie mentions she's tied and we tilt to see it, something we've already seen before, it simply looks like a poorly planned composition. We either show her hand or his head. Scope should be wide, not short.
They fucking tied me, they attacked me. That motherfucker was making me sit on his
It is indeed often wide, especially when showing wealth. Vanya's house is given frequent wide shots for narrative effect.
So stand by outside my mansion, motherfucker!
Yeah.
Что проблема, блядь?
Anora's mise-en-scène is not as full as A Complete Unknown, nor is the composition as precise, but these wides create a strong contrast with the other side of the tracks. Speaking of which, Annie's private life is shown as shitty with extreme effectiveness. As she arrives, we see there's a busy train track right next to her house. In her bedroom, the surprisingly well thought out angle includes that bother. And in the backyard, here's a train again. Short lenses. Does this movie love short lenses? Whenever the angle is minimally wide, you'll see every vertical line on the sides distorted into a semicircle. Notice Vanya's TV getting rounder and rounder as it moves up. It's just the nature of the lens. Distortion makes Taurus's arrival even funnier.
Open the gate.
Okay, sir, but Ivan just...
Open the f***ing gate!
The long home invasion sequence works so well because the staging and the use of space are terrific. Annie yells while Vanya switches between the middle and the right.
You don't even know who the f
Stop! Taurus!
When she tries to leave, Garnick tells Igor to catch her, and visually it's like he's coordinating between the left of the frame and the right. I love how she was obviously supposed to kick this vase. When Annie calms down, Garnick goes back to his spot, Taurus steals Igor's position, and he must sit on the broken table. Here's one of my favorite details.
Do you know where's Ivan's room? It's down the hall with spaceships on the walls.
Garnick out of focus in the background, pointing in pain. It's so casually funny and makes the relationship between all characters feel real.
Do you know where's Ivan's room? It's down the hall with...
The private jet scene is also well staged, with a clear separation between the front and the back, shown both dramatically and visually.
You are pathetic, man.
Are you seriously?
You are pathetic motherfucker.
There's also a clever contrast when Annie flies back coach and the frame can't help but include the many people around her. Cutting the characters here kills me a bit, but it does show how spacious the seats are.
I'm so grateful for your forgiveness.
Besides contrasts, there are also parallels. When Annie is driven back out of Vanya's house, we see it from the exact same angle that first showed Igor and Garnick arriving. From Princess, she's now on the same level as the goons. And after their wedding, we see our soulmates in these iconic low angles showing the extravagant ceiling. And on their way to an annulment, we get low angles again. The court also has a pretty ceiling, though only Igor and Vanya notice. Let me point out a few shots that stand out from the rest. Vanya is dragged out of the club in a kind of messy, kind of organized tracking shot. In the airport, we have this unusually fluid tracking motion from one shot to another in depth. When the couple discusses marriage, the camera circles 180 degrees around them and stops when Vanya tells it to.
Stop.
It ain't cool.
Stop.
You could say the direction of Anora is eclectic, swinging from chaos to balance, like the story. I say it's good, and it fits the movie well, but I'd never call it the best of the year. But I'm happy that the next one, which came close, didn't win. The Brutalist, directed by Brady Corbet. The fetishization of the Brutalist's budget has gone on for long enough. Can you believe this film was made for only $10 million? Yes I can. Can we begin with that shit ship shot? I've seen so many people drooling over it. Why? Have you guys got night vision goggles? You can't see anything this crap. The camera work is so much worse than the messiest shots of Anora. Not only is there a lack of concern for the formal aspects of the image, but there is, in most of the movie actually, a lack of interest in space. This shot is a perfect example of Corbet's problem. There's a whole universe happening all around Laszlo, but the director is only interested in closing in the viewer's experience on this body, tightening the camera on him and refusing to show where he is or what's going on, and without even showing him well. Take Laszlo arriving at Harrison's party.
Man of the hour.
We see the smallest wide shot we could possibly get. Laszlo arrives looking around. The camera is uninterested in showing us what he's looking at. We simply keep following without getting any sense of luxury or wonder. Compare it to Annie in Vanya's house. When she looks around, so does the camera. We get wide shots to show the whole environment. This is a character in a place. This one is just a character. The wider ratio helps, but not that much. The Brutalist is the only nominated film not shot in scope. It's 1:6:6, but it doesn't mean that it needs to be narrow. The director could have used the squarer shape to give a sense of height. But that's okay, it's not like the protagonist's profession has anything to do with locations, right? Oh. Laszlo's first presentation for the project is so choppy and devoid of space that I only realized it takes place in the library he made while making this video. You'd think such a plot-heavy place would get some love.
We love the library.
thank you.
The comment section will be full of fanatics of the intentional fallacy shouting that everything is intentional, as if it mattered.
You are not excused.
Explain this then. The party in Italy. Fade into this woman's hands on her back. We follow her prancing for 20 seconds, without seeing anything around her, until she meets Laszlo. It's now a two-shot and we get glimpses of the party in this empty cave, devoid of life. Compare it to Joan's introduction from A Complete Unknown. Detail on her guitar, on the left. Move up to her back while invisibly clearing up space on the left. Space to be filled by fans calling her name. A person in a place with other people. A world that lives. What excuse do you have for centering on this nameless woman who plays no part in the story? Why is she more important than the place? It's not like Corbet would show us anything in any case, because his mise-en-scène fucking sucks. Whenever there's a wide shot showing space, you can actually see all that money they didn't have. Let's get back to A Complete Unknown. Look at these frames again and take in the textures, how the color is dense, how the lighting is varied and dramatic. You'll notice the same everywhere in A Complete Unknown. The sets, the props and decorations, the color, light and shadow. This is a world that breathes. It's lived in. Now the film about an architect. White walls. White walls everywhere. Empty space. Woody Guthrie's hospital bedside table has more life than the Van Buren office. Why is it so empty? A cafe in A Complete Unknown. A cafe in The Brutalist. Not a single wide, by the way. I know the internet. Now there will be people who 5 minutes ago praised the movie for looking great with a small budget, pivoting to say the budget's an excuse for the movie not looking great. It's not a sin to be cheap, it's a sin to look cheap. As for intentionality, a bad thing done on purpose is two bad things. There's this well-blocked long take between Laszlo and Leslie, hey, they should have a sitcom, where Laszlo's complaining about changes made to his project. And Leslie, the engineer supervising an 800,000 square feet, $850,000 construction, has a corkboard with nothing but two small pieces of paper. In what, US letter? Are you seriously?
I'm gonna have to call you back.
I should have loved this scene because it's the best moment of blocking the whole movie. Their positions change some 7 times in less than 2 minutes. It's great visual drama like an angry dance.
Boss Meg, no one tells me a goddamn thing here!
Usually Corbet's blocking is limited to a simple two-shot with a new character joining the middle, mostly bidimensional.
Jim! You want to... Jim, that's enough!
It's rare to find variety in his use of screen space, but it works well with Harry Lee. In one scene he brings Laszlo forward towards the following camera. In another scene we follow as he takes him to the back. Their body language is very informative. The camera pushes in when the talk gets creepy, and Harry Lee even changes layers in the end. And throughout you get to see the sunlight changing in real time.
We tolerate you.
The cinematographer worked wonders with this poorly directed visual slop. And what a slop! When Laszlo and Zsófia get his wife's medicine, we should see their action through the shadows, but they're cast too low instead of on this perfectly suitable spot. In Attila's house, this lamp covers his face and the camera must improvise. And fuck this wobbly close-up in particular.
It is beautiful.
When Anora sits down and the camera bumps, I don't like it, but I get it. It's an improvised two-shot in a strip club.
It's not an excuse.
What excuse do you have for a close-up of a millionaire buying marble in Italy being as unsteady as this? Amateur hour.
Can't you say anything kind to me?
I love you, you cow.
Okay, some good things. This is a good angle for their happy family dinner scene. It shows that Zsófia is pregnant and that Erzsébet is still in a wheelchair. There's this single of Attila behind his desk. It looks by the numbers at first, but Laszlo picks up a piece of paper and we realize it's the most perfect angle we could have. The same with this profile shot of the women. It's the perfect angle to capture Harrison arriving, like a surprise.
Where are you ladies off to?
And the train crash, from above, with smoke obscuring the accident, but revealing the fire. That's a creative way to save money that doesn't look cheap. That was great. Some quirks, some documentary montages in Academy ratio. There's plenty of static establishing shots. If only they had rented those tripods for some extra days. And in group scenes, Corbet prefers to shoot 2 shots instead of singles. That's enough for what was most likely the runner-up. This is the story of someone who is both a traumatized heroin addict and, they want me to believe, a brilliant artist. But the direction is 100% appropriate to a traumatized heroin addict. 0% to a brilliant artist. But it could be worse. Emilia Pérez, thrown together by Jacques Audiard. Tranquility. That feeling of liberty you only get when you're about to tear a movie apart and you know for a fact there will be nobody, not one single living soul in the comment section defending it. Like and subscribe, Patreon, here we go. Of course it's in scope. Directors who don't care about how their movies look shoot in scope. And of course it's mostly shot in handheld singles with no concern for composition or space. Of all the crimes ever committed upon the earth, none was fouler than that of the man who first looked upon a camera and uttered, "Yo, I'ma go handheld." Remember that this is a musical. The director has complete freedom to create beauty and spectacle, but his visual deficiency leads to one disappointing number after the other. The first one. Remember that joke from Annie Hall?
Boy, the food at this place is really terrible.
Let me paraphrase it. The choreography here is terrible, and you can barely see it. So much movement going on, but dancers are bundled together in the shallow background and middle ground while we stick too close to Saldanha. That chorus line there with the stools would have looked pretty. In the second number, the cleaning ladies have some moves with their colorful rags. But who needs to see it, right? Here's another close-up of Rita. Micamino had the creative idea of repeating the choreography in the back, but the image is so shallow and uses so little of the screen's width that it packs no punch. And why is the image so bad? Why isn't it in HD? Come to think of it, why are the TV spots in low resolution? It's 2024. I know exactly what you want. To go over your favorite musical number of all time.
Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operations.
The scene is clearly meant to stand out from the rest of the movie, but it's shot with the same lack of harmony. It's like the director is glad enough the choreography has a bit of action, so he doesn't bother to frame it properly.
Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
The doctor's clipboard is mostly cut when he delivers it. Short scope. The nurses exchanging objects are covered. Bad blocking. There's a lot going on without order or reason. You don't know what to look at, the camera doesn't know what to look at. It's unprofessional. It should have been a full-on MGM number with clear choreography in wide long takes, chorus girls in coordination, bold colors, visual extravagance. You need to go all in. Then I imagine people would have left with the scene instead of at the scene.
From penis to vagina.
And it's still better than most musical numbers, which are staged like unimaginative dialogue scenes. Characters sitting down.
If you had seen what he has shown to me, you'd be a better man.
What in the hell did he show you, Rita? His boobs? Were they that nice? Anyway, it's a musical. You can do anything. We get close-ups in place. Sometimes the camera tries to distract you from the boring blocking by spinning around. There's this montage when a bunch of incarcerated killers tell Rita where they hid their victims. How is it staged? That's right, people standing in place, one after the other. Here's the best composition of the whole movie. It uses every layer of the screen, it goes dynamically from left to right, a new character enters through depth. It's what a complete unknown calls normal. 10 seconds of proper professional directing. Composing is hard for Jacques. Look at this, it's so obviously unbalanced. All the weight is on the right for no reason. May I? Just a bit... There. Challenge. How does Emilia Pérez begin? What is the very first thing we see? I bet you have no recollection. The first image is a mariachi band. We close in on a random stereotypical Mexican trio we can't even hear. The first time I thought they were gonna be our Greek chorus, like in Cat Ballou.
Then there came to town a gun deadly and frightening, a gun quicker than lightning.
But nope, just some random ass Mexicality. And that's part of Audiard's direction. He makes promises he doesn't keep. Here's a shot of Rita's apartment from outside. 4 windows. Only this one is used. A minute later, Rita will be attacked. You had a shot like this, with 3 unused frames within the frame? Why wouldn't you include those thugs breaking in to build suspense? That's so easy to come up. Now this. When Emilia's children disappear, she makes a phone call. The camera starts here and circles around her. Some dramatic camera motion, nothing out of the usual. And the camera stops after framing her maids and bodyguard. It's using the width and depth of the screen, adding characters to the scene. That's good. But these characters are useless. Not one of them will do anything, not only in this shot, but in the movie. You only end the camera motion like this if she's gonna talk to one of the characters in the background, or one of them is gonna approach for a reason. The visual narration is telling us to keep these people in mind. For nothing, because it looks cool, probably. That's not directing, that's misdirecting. Here's something similar, done well. The camera circles Rita to show the house and to catch Emilia coming down the stairs. Then it stops in an ensemble showing some of the place. That's great! Now the camera motion had a route and a purpose that makes sense. Coming back to those windows, they are a visual motif of sorts. When Emilia meets her useless girlfriend, they exchange a moment through this window. Repeated when Rita finds out Emilia was kidnapped. That zoom into the window showing the choreography with the guns is quite nice. The movie should be full of creative musical bits like this, but it would have been better if the men didn't cover each other. And now I'm repeating myself.
Do you hear me?
That cut gave me cancer. Enough, let's talk about something good now, something great. The Substance, directed by Coralie Fargeat. Unlike the other 4 nominees, The Substance is not interested in dialogue scenes. It's not interested in naturalistic performance. It's not interested in creating a world that looks like real life. The direction, therefore, doesn't stick to the rules of the rest. Everything is maximized, emphasized, artificialized. The colors, the sounds, the editing, the acting.
What can I get you?
Visually, this is way closer to the language of silent cinema. It's in silent cinema you find fade-ins inside the image like these.
You're still the most beautiful girl in the whole wide world.
Just a little something to keep you busy.
And the quick cuts to specific words on props are similar to title cards. When Sue is facing a moment of crisis, the rules are rubbed on our faces before we cut to the only word she cares about.
Are you alright?
Character thought through montage, like a silent Soviet. It's even got non-continuity editing.
We air in 2 weeks, so let's get to work.
The film also uses the sexualized visual language of commercials and video clips.
Can you feel it?
As you can see, The Substance is obsessed with textures. Fargeat loves cutting to extremely tight inserts to show in detail the surface of all things, especially skin. The sounds things make are also primordial. No film this year used sound in a way that's so unique and memorable. Adding sound to what shouldn't have it, heightening low sounds you normally wouldn't hear, making the most mundane sounds creepy. Wait, you're telling me she was gonna face LA traffic in 30 minutes? She'd never have made it anyway. Fargeat gives a lesson in how to use the scope aspect ratio. Many locations have this eerie vibe of clinical liminal horror. And the encompassing widescreen makes things look endless and unnatural. Twice we get a shining-like liminal environment that gets transformed into a single by Dennis Quaid walking towards the camera. It's exceptionally effective in this restroom shot.
Look, I'll make it simple.
A disconcerting wide, an actor takes 7 steps to hit his mark, and it's now a disconcerting tight. It's surgically precise staging. Take the layout of Elizabeth's apartment. There are these 2 windows connecting the living room to the kitchen, where you can fit the camera for a perfect angle. Through the right window we see Elizabeth's photo. Through the left one we see the TV here. But more importantly, Sue's billboard, which will haunt Elizabeth, visually. There's also a visual progression in the scenes of walking. Our leading ladies have these walking low angles that start out normal, maybe even idyllic. Then as the story goes on, they turn more and more unhinged. This angle introduces Sue's new clothes. Repeated now that she's wearing them. And repeated again now she has the jaws. My one complaint about the direction is that the camera doesn't go through her arm in the third one. Basically, the substance is the best possible case of what I call Ilemedem. Everybody look at me, I'm directing a movie. The visible directing style. The director is calling as much attention to herself as possible, and that is exactly what this forceful, overbearing, over-the-top story needs. To go overboard. Perfection.
I love you!
And that's it. This time I'd vote for Coralie. But don't tell Jim. What is your favorite achievement in directing among the nominees? Tell me in the comments. And thank you for watching.